Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel today. For anybody who doesn't know me, my name is Karen and I'm from Ireland and I am a YouTube trying to conceive video making lady. Today I just want to talk to you about two things. The first thing is that I rejoined Weight Watchers. So yesterday I went, if you have looked at my Monday video, which I will link in the description below, you will have seen that it was recommended by my doctor that I continue losing weight. I just lost 7 pounds and she just recommended for my chances to conceive, because I have PCOS, that the best medicine you can do with PCOS is losing weight. So I went back to Weight Watchers. I originally joined Weight Watchers in March 2012. Over that summer I lost 20 pounds. I have since put back on 8 of those pounds, so I have kept off 12 pounds, which is good. So I went yesterday, I weighed in and I was told I can have 29 pro points, and then plus the usual 49 that they give you anyways. So 29 per day, and then you can have a weekly allowance of an extra 49 that you can use at weekends if you're going to eat out or if you're going to go drinking or anything like that. So it's been going relatively good. I've upped my intake of water. And yeah, that's really it. So I just wanted to let you guys know how I have weighed in. So I weighed in at 13 stone 6 pounds, which is around like 190 pounds. So that's not great. But I am taking the steps to lower that weight, I suppose. So my goal right now is to lose an extra 5 pounds. They recommend that you start by losing 5% of your weight. So for me, that would be 9 pounds I have to lose. So there's a number, when you go every week, there's a number of books that you get. So obviously I've had these since 2012 and I didn't get any new books. See, 2012. I didn't get any new books when I went back. But to lose 5% of your weight. So as I said, I am 13 stone 6 pounds and I need to lose 9 pounds to get to 12 stone 11 pounds. And I would be so happy if I could do that. So yeah, just to let you know, I will be giving weekly updates on a Friday if you want to check back in next Friday to see how that goes for this week. And the second thing I wanted to do was tell you about some psychic tarot readings I received this week. So I was on cafemoms.com and babycenter.com, and I was just going across reading the TTC forums, as you do, and I seen people start to talk about psychic predictions and who's the best at giving fertility or TTC readings, and I got intrigued. So I looked on the Pacific groups on those websites about those, and I researched into it as such, and I just picked two. I actually picked 3 people. Just one hasn't come in yet. So what you do is you send payment online through PayPal, and you then send them your name, your partner's name, your date of birth, and a photo of yourself. So it sounds quite scammy, and I suppose people's opinion of psychics are as a scam, but I just like to do these things for the fun of it. So I did 2. The first lady I did was Tracey M from readingsforyou.com. I'll have her link in the description below. And she's an Australian lady, and she did a TTC reading for me. And I'm just going to give you an overview of what she said. So the first thing she said is, the first feeling I get is that you're probably going to fall pregnant with this very soon. Actually, is there any chance that you are already pregnant? There's no chance. I just had my period. If not, I definitely say within the next 3 cycles, and it will come as some kind of unexpected timing or information connected to it. I definitely feel surprise and delight around this whole subject, as though you find out unexpectedly that you are pregnant and that it all comes as a lovely shock to you, something along those lines. So then the next thing she predicts is, I get the month of October as being significant for you. So this means that you will either fall pregnant, find out you are pregnant, or be due in October. I feel that the pregnancy will be pretty straightforward with no health problems, but, and don't be worried about this, and the sense of shock and surprise, in a good way, not a negative way, comes up around your birth process too. So don't be surprised if you go into labour and give birth at home, or you have an unplanned or unexpected sudden onset of birth, of labour. You break your waters in public, or some other unusual but not negative situation. So then she goes on to describe my child. It says that she feels I'm going to have a boy. Right from the start, this child will be sensitive and will be very alert and take in everything around him. When I say sensitive, what I really mean, he's an empath. He will feel deeply and pick up on emotions and worries of those around him, most notably his mum. As he grows, he will be very thoughtful and caring and not so wrapped up in his own wants and needs like many children. We should get him a pet when he's around 3 or 4. He loved the outdoors and spending time with me, like doing gardening or washing the car, going for walks. When it comes time to start school, he'll be a little shy at first. It might take him a year or 2 to find his feet and finally make friends. She feels that he's going to work in the field of like counselling, nursing, or veterinary science. And that was her. So I mean, that's kind of interesting. It doesn't really give anything about me personally, but that's not the that's not the reading I paid for. So I always have been told by psychics in the past when I went. So I went to 3 psychics before, that I was going to have a boy. So yeah, she said boy, and something around October being when I find out, and I hope it is when I find out, and it's not that I am due in October next year. But it might be. There's nothing I can do if it is, but it might be. And then the next one I got was from Tania. I think her name is Tania at Eternity Tarot Readings. Again, her link will be in the description below. And she gave me a gigantic email. She just started off by explaining how her gifts work. She said that she receives like pictures or snapshots of stuff. It's not like a film, it'd just be like a picture of something, or some sort of music or lyrics will come to her. Then how she really starts off is saying that she feels my aura is mainly green and yellow, and that Robert's is mainly yellow. And what she then goes on to explain what the yellow aura is and what the green aura means. She said, then when I see in your past life, and this is really weird because I've never had this before. It says that when I look at your past life with this baby, I see an odd one. The first words that come to mind are bird keepers. And I was shown a huge menagerie of birds and a man and a woman out in the jungle or rainforest with all sorts of equipment and taking drawings. She said that I was the man in this picture and that the baby was the woman, and that it was around when the first camera was made, so the late 1800s, and that I documented, rescued and housed various birds. And it's a bit random, that. But anyways, and she said, with your current TTC Pat, I see a message for you to stop worrying. You seem to have gravitated fear of never having children, having a hard time having children, and also your age being something that factors in with having children as well. You don't want to be an older mother. What you need to do is turn that planner in you off and just go with the flow. Again, try not to plan so much in every aspect of your life and focus on the now. While I do see a blockage in your current path with TTC, it seems to have something got to do with your relationship. Are you married yet? Perhaps that is what stands in your way before this baby will decide to come. I'm seeing a bit of difficulty with timing things right and getting a hold of your balance and cycles and fertile days. But I also see it happening for you, and as of now I'm not showing anything that will stand in the way of having a baby. So that is very interesting. The first interesting point in that is where she talks about how I don't want to be an older mother, and that is so true. And I know I'm only 27, but I always wanted to have a child be in their 20s before I turn 50. It's just something I've always wanted, and as I said, I'm 27 and I just keep thinking I'm running out of time before that happens, and I'm putting a lot of pressure on myself for that to happen. I think that's probably one of my main concerns, and it was only really when I received this reading last night that I kind of went, whoa, I am stressing about that a little bit. The second thing which I found quite surreal, and that what she told me was that the blockage of are you married yet? So me and Robert aren't married. I was always against marriage. I'm not really sure where that comes from, but my parents and Robert's parents are still married. And I don't know anybody, I know like 2 people that have had a divorce. So it's not as if I was a child of divorce and I view marriage in a negative way. I just was always against marriage, but recently I was kind of like, maybe I do want to get married. Like, I do want to spend the rest of my life with Robert. Why not just get married and get it over and done with? And yeah, so it's funny that she brought that up. And then this third thing is having difficulty with timings, know when my fertile days are. So if you're following along with my journey, you will know that I don't have regular cycles. They are any number of days that they want to be, and I don't ovulate. So obviously that's going to be very hard for us to try and track our fertile days. So I am paying a lot more close attention this cycle and for the next couple of cycles to try and pinpoint when my body is going to ovulate, or if it does ovulate. And hopefully with taking the metformin and now starting to lose weight that I do ovulate, and at least it will help me track and then be able to pinpoint when eventually that's going to happen. So the next thing she says is, I've been shown the month of October as being significant for this baby. All of us do not have cycles that begin and end in 1 month, so anything to your cycle of contraception or BFP can definitely be tied to this month that I see. It can also be birth timing. Please note that my predictions are usually for the current year or the next. I see the number 1 associated with this, which can be when you ovulate or find out you're pregnant on this date. It can be a number of cycles before you get pregnant. I know it seems like a wide range of things, but numbers are just that number, so it's hard to pinpoint its significance. Overall, I see 3 or 4 children for you, though the number I think will be dependent on how you carry on down the family and path of parenthood. So that's interesting. So she said October like the last lady, and she also says she sees the number 1 associated with this. So it could be October 1st I found out, or the only other thing is I found it in January, or conception happens in January and I'm due in October of next year. So that's interesting. And then it says that I'm not going to have any issues with my pregnancy. Then she says, with birth, I see the number 12 associated with timing, which can be your due date, the date or time of birth, or the number of hours in labour. I do feel a natural, more home-like birth. So I see I'm not having a very, very hospital-like environment. I do feel that your birth will either be a home or a home birth-like type setting. So a birth centre or even a hospital that has a birthing centre. You're going to offer a lot of quiet, and I see you preferring to do it in a darker room. I see you walking a lot and being quite angsty with each contraction. I do feel a long labour, but overall a shorter labour for your first. I see the baby being in the 6 to 7 pound range, and that he will be born earlier than his due date. So that again ties in what the other lady, Tracey, said. So Tracey said a home birth, and she's getting a non-hospital birth, so like a home birth type situation. And then that the baby is due earlier, which could tie in with Tracey's, as in, she said, an unexpected, my labor is gonna come unexpectedly. So don't want to read too much into this, but it's kind of tying in together. Are these the same people, I wonder? So, and then it says, your son comes across as being very easygoing and always full of smiles. He's a great mix of both of us. He is quite the ladies' man and is very flirty, and he loves trying new things and always has a sense of adventure. I see him interested in sciences and how things work, as well as math. And the letter C is coming up as a significant in his name. So Robert's surname has a C. His surname starts with a C, so that could be that. And the sciences, again, the other lady said veterinary science, and then this woman says sciences too, which could be the same thing. But you never know. So as I said, lady, I am going to take this with a pinch of salt, even though I think that they kind of relate to each other. And I am waiting for one more to be delivered to me, which hopefully will be done today or tomorrow. And if it is, I will update you with that in my Monday video. But my question to you is, have you ever had any psychic predictions regarding TTC and babies and all that stuff? And if you have, leave them in the comment section below, and I just like to know if people have had predictions and they've come true, or anything like that. You know, I'm always interested in these psychic medium type people. Some of them are obviously very fraudulent, and you know, as I said, I am going to take this with a pinch of salt. But I like to do it. It's a fun thing for me to do. And yeah, so I hope you enjoyed this video. Give it a thumbs up if you did, and if you are new to my channel, please do not hesitate to subscribe. I put videos out on Mondays and Fridays, and I will be back on Monday with my next TTC update, and I shall talk to you soon then. Bye!